Pain as a teacher, not a punishment. Pain is one of life's most misunderstood experiences. Most people see it as something to be avoided, a signal that something is wrong, something unfair. But pain isn't a punishment, it's feedback. It's the body and mind's way of revealing that we are stretching beyond what is familiar and that growth is in motion. Without pain, we would have no contrast, no indicator of progress, no awareness of our limits or our potential. When we start to view pain through the lens of learning rather than suffering, everything changes. It becomes a conversation rather than a confrontation. Pain whispers the truth about what we need to improve, what we must release, and what we truly value. It tells us where our weaknesses lie, not to shame us, but to show us where strength can be built. Every ache, every failure, every heartbreak carries within it the seed of understanding, if we are willing to listen. Consider the process of physical training. Muscles do not grow without resistance. Every repetition that burns, every run that leaves you gasping is actually your body's way of adapting, learning to handle more than it could before. The pain you feel in that process isn't there to punish you for trying, it's there to guide you through transformation. Emotional and mental growth follow the same law. The discomfort you feel in change is the signal that you are evolving. In life, the most painful experiences often become our most profound teachers. A rejection teaches us self-worth. A loss teaches us gratitude. A failure teaches us humility and perseverance. These lessons don't come wrapped in comfort. They come wrapped in struggle. Yet when the pain fades, what remains is wisdom. And wisdom is the foundation of strength. Ignoring pain or resenting it only prolongs our suffering. When we resist what we feel, we miss the message behind it. But when we pause, breathe, and ask, what is this trying to teach me? We shift from victim to student. Pain doesn't go away instantly, but it becomes purposeful. It becomes part of our story, part of our evolution. Pain also connects us to others in ways that comfort never could. Shared pain builds empathy. When we've walked through darkness ourselves, we recognize it in someone else's eyes. We listen differently. We love differently. Pain teaches us compassion because it humbles us. It reminds us that we are all human, all fragile, all in process. It's easy to admire someone who's strong, but strength alone doesn't inspire. What truly inspires is the story behind that strength, the moments of pain that shaped it. When people share what they've endured, they give others permission to find meaning in their own struggles. In that way, pain becomes not just a personal teacher, but a collective one. Every great innovation, breakthrough, or act of courage has been born from a moment of discomfort. Pain pushes us to question, to adapt, to rise. It shows us that we are capable of far more than we imagined. It invites us to transform adversity into growth, and growth into purpose. The why. Behind struggle, when we encounter struggle, our first instinct is to ask, why is this happening to me? We search for reasons, often hoping to make the pain stop. But the real question isn't why it's happening, it's why it matters. Every struggle has a deeper significance hidden beneath the surface. It is rarely about the event itself, it's about what that event awakens within us. Understanding the purpose behind our pain gives it meaning, and meaning changes everything. Without a sense of purpose, pain feels endless. It feels heavy, unfair, and empty. But when we connect struggle to a greater why, we discover a kind of strength that cannot be taken away. The why becomes the compass that guides us through the storm. It doesn't eliminate the hardship, but it gives us direction, a reason to keep walking even when the path is unclear. Think of the difference between suffering and sacrifice. Suffering is pain without purpose. Sacrifice, on the other hand, is pain with meaning. An athlete pushes through exhaustion because they believe in the victory ahead. A parent sacrifices sleep for a child because they see the purpose in nurturing growth. The pain is real in both cases, but the experience feels completely different because the why transforms the burden into fuel. The struggle becomes lighter when it's connected to something larger than ourselves. People who endure the greatest challenges often do so because they have something worth fighting for. A vision, a mission, a belief, or a person they love deeply. It's not that they don't feel pain, they simply see it through a different lens. They don't ask, how can I avoid this? They ask, what is this preparing me for? Understanding the why behind struggle also helps us stay grounded when progress feels invisible. Growth doesn't happen overnight, it's built in small, unseen moments. When you know your purpose, you can endure the silence between results. You can tolerate the uncertainty because you understand that struggle is the process, not the punishment. Purpose keeps you moving when motivation fades. Sometimes, our why isn't clear at the beginning. It emerges through the very process of enduring. Only after we've walked through pain can we look back and see the lesson it was teaching. That's why patience is essential, not just with circumstances, but with ourselves. The meaning of the struggle often reveals itself only after we've survived it. The why behind struggle also invites us to reflect on alignment. Are we enduring pain for something that truly matters to us, or simply out of habit, fear, or obligation? Not every struggle is worth our energy. When we understand our deeper values, we can distinguish between the pain that shapes us and the pain that drains us. This awareness turns struggle from chaos into clarity. In the end, the power of struggle lies not in what it takes from us, but in what it gives us when we find its purpose. The why behind every hardship becomes the thread that weaves pain into progress, confusion into conviction, and endurance into evolution. Strength is built, not given. Strength doesn't appear overnight. It's not something we inherit or stumble upon by luck. It's built piece by piece through effort, repetition, and resilience. Every person who seems strong today was once uncertain, afraid, or inexperienced. What sets them apart is not the absence of struggle, but the willingness to face it again and again, until the pain of effort turns into the pride of progress. True strength grows in the moments no one sees. It's built in quiet mornings when you choose to try again after failure, in late nights when you refuse to give up even when the results seem far away. It's the consistency of small, deliberate actions that compound into something powerful. Strength is not born from success, it's carved out of persistence in the face of resistance. Mistakes are the building blocks of strength. Every time we fall short, we are handed an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to grow tougher. Failure doesn't destroy strength, it forges it. Each misstep teaches us how to navigate the next one better. Over time, the things that once intimidated us become the very experiences that empower us. Strength is never about perfection, it's about progression. Discomfort is the training ground of strength. Growth demands that we step beyond what's easy into spaces where uncertainty lies. When we face pain, fear, or doubt, our instinct is to retreat. But strength is built when we lean into that discomfort instead of running from it. It's the act of choosing courage over comfort, of trusting that the hard path leads to deeper capability. Endurance is what turns effort into excellence. Anyone can start strong, few can stay steady when progress is slow or invisible. Endurance isn't glamorous, it's repetitive, demanding, and often lonely. Yet, those who endure long enough begin to see what others can't, that every repetition of effort layers resilience into their character. Strength is built through staying power, not starting power. The process of building strength also humbles us. It teaches us that we're not invincible, but adaptable. Every challenge reminds us of our limits, but also expands them. We learn that strength isn't about dominating circumstances, it's about mastering ourselves within them. Real strength doesn't shout. It whispers through calm persistence and quiet confidence. There's also an emotional strength that mirrors the physical one. The ability to remain grounded when life feels uncertain. It's the strength to hold hope when outcomes are unclear, to be kind when you're exhausted, to keep faith when nothing seems to be working. That kind of strength can't be given or borrowed. It's cultivated through lived experience, reflection, and endurance of the heart. In every chapter of life, strength is something we continue to build. It's never finished, never final. Each new season brings new challenges, and with them, new opportunities to fortify who we are. Strength remains the reward for showing up. Not perfectly, but persistently, in the face of whatever tries to break us. Short-term pain view as long-term vision pain has a way of demanding our full attention. It shouts, it presses, it insists that it's the only thing that matters right now. When we're in the middle of discomfort, it's hard to see past it. The mind fixates on relief, on making the pain stop, and in doing so, we often lose sight of what that pain is shaping us for. Growth, unlike pain, doesn't demand attention. It works quietly, slowly, patiently asking us to trust that the effort will be worth it. Short-term pain tests our ability to hold vision in moments of doubt. When results are delayed or invisible, it becomes tempting to quit, to trade long-term reward for immediate comfort. Yet every meaningful achievement requires the discipline to stay connected to a vision that extends beyond the present moment. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not talent, but perspective, the ability to see beyond the pain of now into the possibility of tomorrow. Every great pursuit, whether personal or professional, carries with it a season of struggle. The early stages of growth rarely look like success. They look like uncertainty, exhaustion, and failure. But this is the stage where the foundation is being built. Those who can endure this phase, who can hold faith in the unseen, are the ones who eventually rise above the rest. The short-term discomfort becomes the investment that fuels long-term transformation. We live in a world wired for immediacy. We want quick results, instant validation, fast progress. But true growth refuses to be rushed. It demands time, consistency, and patience. The seed planted today doesn't bloom tomorrow, no matter how much we want it to. Pain in the short term is often the process of roots growing deeper, preparing for a future that can sustain more than we currently can. When we focus only on what hurts now, we risk making short-sighted choices. We might abandon a dream that's simply in its development stage, mistaking struggle for failure. But when we reconnect to our vision, the why, that drives us, we can endure what others can't. The person who keeps moving through discomfort isn't stronger by chance, they're stronger by choice, guided by a vision that's bigger than their pain. Pain teaches patience by forcing us to slow down and reevaluate what we truly want. It invites reflection. Am I willing to pay this price for what I believe in? Sometimes the answer reveals that we're pursuing the wrong goal. Other times it reminds us how deeply we care. Either way, short-term pain clarifies long-term purpose. It shows us what matters enough to fight for. The ability to see beyond the temporary is what transforms pain into progress. When we understand that every challenge contributes to something greater, we stop viewing discomfort as an obstacle and start seeing it as evidence of growth. Pain becomes the bridge between who we are and who we're becoming. It stops being a signal to quit and becomes proof that we're on the right path. Long-term vision gives meaning to short-term pain. It shifts our focus from surviving the moment to building the future. It reminds us that temporary discomfort is the price of permanent strength. When we learn to hold that vision, to trust that what hurts now is helping us later, we begin to live not just for relief, but for transformation. Failure as foundation. Failure is often misunderstood as the opposite of success, when in truth, it is the foundation of it. Every great achievement is built upon a series of moments that didn't go as planned. Failure doesn't erase progress, it refines it. It's the process by which we learn what works, what doesn't, and who we truly are when the plan falls apart. To fear failure is to fear the very process that shapes mastery. Setbacks are not signals to stop, they are indicators to adjust. Each one reveals a gap in our understanding, a weakness in our approach, or a blind spot in our perspective. When we look at failure through the right lens, it becomes feedback, pure information, unfiltered and honest. Those who grow from failure aren't the ones who experience it least, but the ones who listen to what it's teaching them. Failure humbles us in ways success never can. It strips away ego, forcing us to confront our limitations and assumptions. It reminds us that progress isn't a straight line, but a series of recalibrations. In those moments of defeat, we are given a chance to rebuild, not just our strategy, but our character. What emerges on the other side is a deeper strength rooted in understanding, not illusion. Every time we fail, we lay another brick in the foundation of resilience. Each disappointment builds tolerance for uncertainty, patience for growth, and empathy for others who struggle. Over time, failure becomes less frightening because we've seen what it truly does. It doesn't destroy us, it prepares us. It equips us to face future challenges with steadier hands and a clearer mind. Innovation and creativity depend on failure. No invention, no breakthrough, no masterpiece comes to life without missteps. Failure acts as the testing ground for ideas, revealing what holds and what collapses. It is the scaffolding that supports our eventual success, holding us steady while we learn to build something stronger. Without failure, progress would be fragile, untested, and easily undone. The stories we admire most, of leaders, creators, and pioneers, are all built on layers of failure. What makes them inspiring is not that they avoided mistakes, but that they turned mistakes into meaning. They understood that falling short doesn't define worth, refusing to rise again does. They used every setback as raw material to construct something better than before. Failure also redefines how we view success itself. When we fail enough, we stop chasing perfection and start valuing progress. We learn to measure growth not by how far we've gone without stumbling, but by how quickly we recover when we do. Failure teaches adaptability, creativity, and emotional endurance, qualities that no easy victory could ever cultivate. In the end, failure becomes the quiet architect of resilience and wisdom. It shapes us from the inside out, teaching patience where there was once pride and clarity where there was once chaos. Each failure adds weight to our foundation, grounding us in experience so that when success finally arrives, it has something real to stand on. Embracing discomfort creates freedom. Discomfort is the space between where we are and where we want to be. It's the tension that stretches us beyond the familiar, the uneasy feeling that signals growth is near. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort, choosing safety over challenge, ease over effort. Yet every time we run from discomfort, we also run from the opportunity to evolve. True freedom begins when we stop escaping what's hard and start engaging with it. When we lean into discomfort, we begin to uncover our real strength. The human mind and body are built to adapt, but adaptation only happens under pressure. Just like muscles strengthen under resistance, our character deepens when we face what feels difficult. Discomfort becomes a teacher, showing us that what once felt impossible gradually becomes manageable and eventually natural. The process may hurt, but the transformation it creates is worth it. Freedom isn't the absence of struggle, it's the ability to remain steady within it. When we accept discomfort as part of the journey, we're no longer controlled by fear or avoidance. We can act not because conditions are perfect, but because we trust ourselves to handle imperfection. That shift in mindset from avoidance to acceptance is the birthplace of confidence. Discomfort stops being a wall and starts being a doorway. Avoiding discomfort creates invisible prisons. We limit our choices, our creativity, and our growth to stay safe. We convince ourselves that comfort equals happiness, but what it really creates is stagnation. The longer we stay in our comfort zones, the smaller our world becomes. Embracing discomfort, on the other hand, expands it. It teaches us to tolerate uncertainty, to experiment, to take risks, and to explore the unknown. The people who achieve mastery in any field are not the ones who feel comfortable all the time. They're the ones who have built a relationship with discomfort. They've learned to see it as a sign that they're moving in the right direction. The artist facing creative block, the athlete pushing through fatigue, the leader making hard decisions. All of them know that discomfort is evidence of progress. Growth always begins at the edge of unease. Discomfort also reveals truth. When we face something challenging, our insecurities and excuses rise to the surface. It's in those moments that we see ourselves clearly, what we fear, what we believe, and what we avoid. That awareness is powerful because it gives us the chance to choose differently. To embrace discomfort is to confront reality without illusion, and that honesty is where transformation begins. Embracing discomfort doesn't mean seeking pain for its own sake. It means understanding its purpose. It's about trusting that the unease you feel while learning, growing, or changing is not a threat but a sign of alignment. The discomfort of growth is temporary, but the cost of avoiding it lasts much longer. Every time we choose to face what's difficult, we reclaim a little more freedom from fear. Mastery in skill, mindset, or self is born from the willingness to stay present in discomfort long enough to learn from it. It's not about escaping what feels hard, but discovering who we become through it. Each time we embrace discomfort, we prove to ourselves that we are capable, adaptable, and free, not because life gets easier, because we no longer need it to be. The power of perspective is the invisible filter that shapes how we experience everything in life. Two people can face the same challenge, yet one feels defeated while the other feels determined. The difference isn't in the situation, it's in the story they tell themselves about it. Pain, failure, or loss all gain meaning through the perspective we bring to them. When we learn to shift that lens, we don't erase the struggle, we redefine it. Pain changes form when seen through understanding. What once felt like punishment can begin to look like preparation. A closed door starts to feel less like rejection and more like redirection. This shift doesn't come naturally, it takes awareness and reflection. Perspective invites us to step back, to see not just what is happening, but what it's teaching us. That distance gives us power, the power to turn hardship into insight. Our perspective determines whether pain becomes our prison or our platform. When we fixate on what we've lost, pain consumes us. When we focus on what we're learning, pain transforms us. This shift doesn't remove the difficulty, but it restores our agency within it. We may not control every event in life, but we can always choose how we interpret it, and that choice defines the quality of our experience. Perspective grows stronger when tested. It's easy to stay positive when life is kind, but true perspective is forged in discomfort. Adversity reveals the depth of our mindset. In those moments, we discover whether we see problems as obstacles or as opportunities for growth. The mind trained to look for meaning rather than misery becomes unbreakable, not because it avoids pain, but because it knows how to use it. Every challenge contains more than one truth. A loss can be both painful and enlightening. A failure can bring disappointment and discovery. Perspective allows multiple realities to coexist. It's not about denying the negative, but about expanding our vision to include the potential hidden within it. Pain and purpose are not opposites. They are often intertwined, waiting for us to connect them through reflection. Changing perspective requires humility. It means accepting that we don't always see the full picture, and that clarity often arrives later. What feels unbearable today might one day become the very experience that equips us to help others. Time and distance reveal patterns that emotion can't see in the moment. Perspective asks us to trust that meaning exists even when we can't yet find it. Perspective also deepens empathy. When we've learned to reframe our own pain, we understand others' struggles differently. We stop judging, start listening, and realize that everyone's perception is colored by their own journey. This awareness softens us. It turns pain into connection, reminding us that while our experiences differ, our search for meaning is universal. When we shift our lens, the world itself feels different. The same challenge that once seemed unbearable can become the catalyst for growth, gratitude, or purpose. Perspective doesn't change the facts of life, but it changes how those facts shape us. The power lies not in avoiding pain, but in seeing it from a higher place, one where burden becomes the beginning of becoming. Tomorrow's strength begins with today's choice. Every day presents a quiet invitation to step toward growth or retreat toward comfort. The choices we make in those ordinary moments determine the kind of strength we'll have when life becomes extraordinary. Growth is not a sudden transformation that happens overnight. It's the accumulation of decisions made in discomfort, of small acts of courage that build unseen resilience. What we choose today shapes the foundation we stand on tomorrow. Strength doesn't appear in a moment of crisis. It's prepared long before the test arrives. The people who seem unshakable in difficult times are not stronger by nature. They've simply made daily choices to confront what others avoid. Each decision to persevere, to learn, to rise after falling adds another layer to their inner fortitude. Tomorrow's strength is the sum of today's choices, compounded over time through persistence and intention. Choosing courage today often means choosing what's difficult. It means saying yes to effort when excuses would be easier. It means showing up when motivation fades, staying calm when emotions surge, and listening when pride wants to speak. Every act of discipline or honesty, every moment of restraint or perseverance becomes an investment in the person we're becoming. These are the unseen workouts of the soul that make strength possible. Pain tests our commitment to those choices. It tempts us to give up, to take shortcuts, to numb what hurts instead of facing it. But when we choose to stay present within the pain, something powerful happens. We build endurance. We train the mind to trust itself, to remember that discomfort is not destruction but development. Each time we endure with purpose, we widen the gap between impulse and intention, between reaction and resilience. The decisions we make today also define the kind of clarity we'll have tomorrow. When we choose to face hard truths rather than avoid them, we sharpen our sense of direction. We begin to see ourselves more clearly, what drives us, what limits us, and what we truly value. Clarity doesn't come from comfort, it comes from honesty earned through challenge. Choosing to face pain with awareness transforms confusion into understanding. Confidence, too, is born from choice. It's not the absence of fear, but the recognition that we've survived struggle before. Every time we act despite uncertainty, we strengthen our belief in our own capability. The mind remembers, it keeps record of every moment we could have quit but didn't. Those memories become the proof we lean on when new challenges appear. Reminders that we've built strength before, and we can do it again. The beauty of daily choice is that it gives power back to us. No matter how big the dream or how heavy the pain, we can always choose one small step forward, one moment of courage, one act of persistence. The future is shaped not by chance but by consistency, by the decision to keep showing up for our own growth, even when no one else is watching. Tomorrow's strength doesn't wait to be discovered. It's created in real time through today's choices. Each decision to lean into courage, to embrace discomfort, to learn rather than run becomes the groundwork for the person we're becoming. Growth is not found in a single breakthrough, but in 1,000 deliberate moments of choosing strength when weakness feels easier.